Have you ever looked up at the vast, star-dusted expanse of the night sky and, just felt a sense of wonder? A feeling that we are not alone? For millennia, humanity has been captivated by the idea of beings that exist beyond our physical reality. We call them by many names, but perhaps the most universal is angels. They are messengers, guardians, beings of pure light and energy that bridge the gap between our world and the divine. Ever wondered about the celestial beings known as angels? What are they really? Are they mere figments of our collective imagination, born from a need for comfort and guidance? Or could they be something more tangible, beings who have interacted with our world in ways we are only beginning to understand? The stories of these celestial encounters are woven into the very fabric of our oldest cultures, whispered in ancient texts and carved into stone. But there is one place, one civilization, where these whispers become a roar, a land of profound mystery and spiritual power, whose connection to the angelic realm is as deep and winding as the great river that gave it life. This is a story that has been waiting in the shadows of history, a narrative that connects the heavens to a very specific place on earth. It challenges us to look beyond the familiar tales and explore a forgotten corner of our spiritual heritage. Join me as we embark on a journey back in time to a kingdom shrouded in legend and brimming with untold secrets. We will travel to a place where the veil between worlds was said to be thin, where mortals and divine beings walked side by side. Let's take a dive into the fascinating connection between angels and the ancient land of Cush. We will peel back the layers of myth and history to uncover a truth that might just change the way you see the heavens and the earth forever. What are angels? For many, the word conjures images of robed figures with feathered wings, serene and benevolent. But if we strip away the layers of artistic interpretation, what are we left with? Across countless cultures and belief systems, they are described as intermediaries, beings of immense power and wisdom who carry the will of the cosmos to humanity. They are the architects of divine messages, the silent observers of our journey. This concept isn't confined to a single book or faith. It's a universal thread in the grand tapestry of human spirituality, a persistent echo of something beyond our immediate perception. This universal belief begs a profound question. If these beings have indeed interacted with our world, where did these encounters take place? Ancient scriptures and forgotten texts from across the globe point to specific locations, sacred sites where the divine presence was felt most strongly. Among these hallowed grounds, one name emerges from the mists of time, a place whose story is inextricably linked with these celestial visitors. The land of Cush, a kingdom whose legacy is not just written in stone and gold, but in the celestial echoes of angelic lore, suggesting a relationship far deeper and more significant than we ever imagined. To understand this celestial connection, we must first understand Cush itself. This was not some mythical, ethereal place. Cush was a formidable African kingdom, flourishing for over 1,000 years in the region we now know as modern-day Sudan and southern Egypt. The Greeks called them Ethiopians, the burnt-faced people, and spoke of them with a mixture of awe and respect. It was a land of immense wealth, famous for its gold, ivory, and ebony. But its true riches lay not just beneath the soil but within the spirit of its people. Cush was a civilization renowned for its profound wisdom and deep spiritual power. The rulers of Cush, the powerful Candaces and mighty kings, were not merely political figures, they were seen as spiritual leaders, conduits to the divine. The pyramids they built at Meroe, while smaller than their Egyptian counterparts, are no less mysterious, pointing to a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and metaphysics. This wasn't just a powerful empire, it was a spiritual epicenter. Ancient historians, from Herodotus to Diodorus Siculus, describe the Cushites as a pious and favored people, suggesting that their land held a unique significance in the cosmic order, a place where the gods themselves were said to feast and commune. Why Cush? What was it about this specific land that made it a focal point for divine interaction? Ancient texts and esoteric traditions offer a tantalizing explanation. Cush was a place where angels descended. It was seen as a divine landing ground, a terrestrial classroom where celestial beings came not as conquerors but as teachers. They were said to impart sacred knowledge, to share secrets of the universe, and to guide humanity towards a higher state of consciousness. This wasn't about fleeting visions or cryptic prophecies, it was about direct instruction. Imagine a world where the lines between science, spirituality, and art were not so rigidly drawn. The knowledge imparted by these angelic visitors was said to encompass everything from astronomy and healing to metallurgy and governance. They taught the Cushites how to read the stars, how to harness the healing properties of plants, and how to build a society that reflected divine harmony. In this view, Cush became more than just a kingdom. It was a grand experiment, a place where heavenly wisdom was seeded into earthly soil, creating a civilization of unparalleled spiritual and intellectual depth. Location is everything, not just in real estate but in the flow of ideas. Cush was strategically positioned at a major crossroads of the ancient world. It was the bridge between the heart of Africa, the Mediterranean world of Egypt and Greece, and the ancient trade routes of the Arabian Peninsula. This unique geographical placement made it a vibrant melting pot, not just of goods and people, but of beliefs, philosophies, and mystical practices. Ideas flowed through Cush just as surely as the waters of the Nile. This constant influx of different cultures enriched Cush's own spiritual landscape, creating a complex and syncretic system of belief. Egyptian deities were worshipped alongside their own powerful gods like Apidimak, the lion-headed warrior god. But beneath these more public forms of worship, a deeper, more mystical tradition thrived. It was in this fertile ground of diverse spiritual thought that the stories of angelic contact flourished. The Cushite mind was open, accustomed to integrating new ideas into its worldview, making it uniquely receptive to the concept of visitors from a higher, celestial plane. The legends passed down through generations are not just simple folktales, they're really the cultural DNA of a people. And in Cush, the legends are filled with stories of angelic visitations. These were not abstract events but were said to be tangible encounters. Whispers on the desert wind tell of luminous beings appearing before shepherds in the dead of night, sharing prophecies of the seasons. Stories carved in memory speak of angels visiting the workshops of artisans, guiding their hands to create objects of otherworldly beauty and power, imbued with sacred geometry and celestial energy. These tales often center on the act of teaching. Angels were said to have taught specific spiritual practices, breathing techniques to enter meditative states, and sacred chants to attune the human spirit to the frequency of the cosmos. They bestowed what were known as heavenly gifts, not material wealth but gifts of insight, creativity, and healing. One legend speaks of an angel gifting a queen the ability to understand the language of animals, allowing her to rule with a wisdom that encompassed all of creation. These stories honestly paint a picture of a nurturing, educational relationship between the divine and the mortal. In the ancient world, a ruler's power was often tied directly to their connection with the divine. This was especially true in Cush. The concept of divine kingship was central to their society. The kings and the powerful queen mothers, the Kandakes, were not just seen as descendants of the gods. They were considered to be living links to the celestial realms. Their authority was believed to be granted from on high, and with it came a profound responsibility to maintain the balance between the earthly and the heavenly. Accounts within esoteric traditions and interpretations of ancient inscriptions suggest that Cush's rulers and spiritual leaders possessed a deep, functional understanding of the angelic realms. They were said to be initiates in sacred mysteries, capable of communicating with these celestial beings to seek guidance for their kingdom. They didn't just pray for help, they actively engaged with these higher intelligences. This ability to harness divine power was the ultimate source of their legitimacy and strength, allowing them to lead their people with a wisdom that seemed to transcend mortal limits. For the people of Cush, the world of spirit was not separate from their daily lives, it was interwoven with it, as present and vital as the life-giving Nile. There was a pervasive belief that their kingdom's very existence was uniquely bonded with the celestial world. They didn't just live on the land, they saw themselves as custodians of a sacred space, a physical anchor point for divine energies on earth. The sky above was not a void, but a ceiling to a much larger home they shared with the gods and their messengers. This intertwined existence manifested in every aspect of their culture. The alignment of their temples with celestial bodies, the timing of their rituals to coincide with astronomical events, the symbolism in their art, all of it pointed to a society that saw itself as a reflection of a cosmic order. This wasn't merely a belief, it was their reality. The health of the kingdom, the fertility of the land, and the prosperity of the people were all seen as direct results of maintaining this sacred connection, a harmonious relationship with the angelic and divine forces that watched over their land. To truly grasp the impact of these beliefs, we must engage our own imagination. For a moment, step out of our modern scientific worldview and into the mindset of an ancient Cushite. Picture yourself standing on the banks of the Nile as the sun sets, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. Imagine believing, with every fiber of your being, that celestial beings with wings of light could descend at any moment. Imagine that the stars are not just distant balls of gas, but the watchful eyes of cosmic guardians. How would this belief shape your world? It would infuse every moment with a sense of wonder and possibility. A sudden flash of insight might be interpreted as an angelic whisper. A creative masterpiece would be seen as a divinely inspired act. The destiny of your people wouldn't be a random series of events, but a divinely guided story, a grand narrative co-authored by mortals and angels. The impact of such a belief system on a civilization's art, its architecture, its courage, and its ultimate destiny would be immeasurable. It would create a culture of profound meaning and purpose. The kingdom of Cush eventually faded, its cities reclaimed by the sands of the desert. But does a story ever truly end? The physical empire may be gone, but its spiritual legacy endures. The mysteries of Cush invite us to ponder the deeper currents of history, the unseen forces that have shaped our world. They challenge us to consider that perhaps the ancients knew things that we have forgotten, that their connection to the cosmos was more direct, more tangible than our own. Reflecting on the celestial secrets of Cush is not just an academic exercise, it is an invitation. An invitation to look for the sacred in our own lives, to listen for the whispers of inspiration, and to believe in the possibility of wonder. Whether you see angels as literal beings or as powerful metaphors for the highest aspects of our own consciousness, the story of Cush inspires us to embark on our own spiritual journey. It reminds us that the quest for connection with the divine is one of the most ancient and profound human endeavors, a journey that connects us to our ancestors and to the stars themselves. Our exploration of the sands of time has led us to a place where heaven and earth seem to touch. The story of Cush and its connection to the angelic realm is a powerful reminder that history is filled with mysteries that defy simple explanation. It's a testament to the human search for meaning, a search that reaches for the stars and finds echoes of the divine in the world around us. These are not just forgotten legends. They are threads in the grand, universal tapestry of our spiritual heritage, waiting for us to pick them up and see where they lead. The whispers of Cush remind us that there are entire worlds of knowledge hidden just beneath the surface of what we think we know. The journey doesn't end here. The connection between ancient civilizations and celestial realms is a vast and fascinating subject, with countless stories still to be told. From the Watchers of the Book of Enoch to the sky gods of the Americas, the belief in divine instructors is a global phenomenon. Each culture offers a unique piece of the puzzle, a different perspective on the ultimate questions of our existence. By studying these ancient beliefs, we learn not only about the past but also about the enduring power of faith, wonder, and the human spirit's unquenchable thirst for connection to something greater than itself. What secrets do you think are still buried beneath the sands? What other ancient civilizations hold the keys to celestial mysteries? The conversation is just beginning, and the path of discovery is endless. Join us as we continue to pull on these fascinating threads, exploring the hidden corners of our shared past and the profound questions they raise about our place in the cosmos. Follow this thread for more intriguing insights into the hidden realms of ancient civilizations, angels and Cush, divine encounters, mystical legends,